Hello, and welcome to Strong Woman High's - Life is a Mishmash. So this is just a little pre-warning. We tried something new and it didn't work. So this is an episode with me, Jenny, and Chloe Brennan, and we tried to do a bit of a thing where we shared the microphones, and unfortunately the sound quality is shocking, so just a little bit of a pre-warning, but it is quite funny. So we've made the decision as a group that we will be posting it regardless, with a little pre-warning just to let you know that we're sorry about the sound quality, we know it's terrible, and hopefully we will make it better for the next one. So please enjoy, and I hope I don't burst your eardrums. Thanks! Good morning, and welcome to Strong Woman High's - Life is a Mishmash. Today we have a very exciting episode. We have Jenny.
Hello.
And we have the Brendog.
And Gus.
And Gus. The most important part.
And his penis.
Who will definitely make himself known, I reckon, throughout this podcast.
I think he's done.
He's pretty tired, He's pretty tired. So, in this podcast, we're just going to have a general chit-chat, I think. Nothing too important.
I'm probably going to cough up a few hairballs in the middle of it as well.
Fun times. Jenny's got her inhalers there ready, so hopefully she doesn't choke to death.
No.
But
it's going to be alright.
Gus potentially choke you out.
He'll kick me in the face again.
So, yesterday, we decided to do a big walk, didn't we? Do you want to tell everyone what we did, Chloe?
It wasn't a big walk. It was a big climb. So we went for a day out and we were like, oh, have a little sleepover, that's cute. And they were like, oh, we'll give you the double bed because recovery's your priority, you're competing in 10 days. But they thought it was okay to drag me up and down ridiculous inclines all day.
Technically, it was only meant to be a 7.5 mile hike, and I think when I'd found it, it said it was hard, but you know when you read something and you're like...
We were walking for nearly 7 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, we were out.
We stopped for a significant period of time.
My moving time said 5 hours, but we were out for about 6.5. But it was a fair trek,
It was fabulous.
It was very good.
Well done for taking it on, Chloe.
Yeah,
thanks.
100%. You nailed it.
I feel that's a bit patronising.
We did also make you wear the wrong shoes.
It's not the best idea though, is it? This far out from you.
I mean, you're the coach. You tell me.
I was just in friend mode. Well, I can't be two people at once.
I do think the problem lies with the fact that, I obviously didn't realise how hard that was going to be because I just read it online. I've actually never gone up any of these hills, but Jenny has.
I'm just a yes person. If you ask me to go in the hills,
I'm
yes.
I was going to say you're definitely not a yes person because I can't believe the amount of things I've asked you to do and you've just been like, nah.
You didn't ask me this though. It's an immediate yes from me. You want to go up some mountains? Yes.
Oh yeah, and when I said, oh, shall I wear my hiking shoes? You went,
why not?
No.
Yeah, to be fair, me and Jenny did have ultras on, which are basically made for this type of trail running. We weren't running, but we were walking in them, and they were comfy, weren't they? But yeah, Chloe did have barefoot shoes on.
Well, next time I'll wear my
I did have my
Bebos,
Brasher hiking boots in the car, which was the most annoying thing, because as soon as I stepped foot on them rocks, I went, oh, it would be great on these.
Some hiking boots.
Something with a thick sole.
Never mind, we survived.
It was very good though. So we went at Red Pike. It took us.
Did you say Bread Pike?
No, Red Pike. Red Pike.
Bread.
No. I love some bread right now. I should have brought them crumpets yesterday. I knew I forgot about that. But anyway, we walked at Red Pike, and it was 2.5 miles, 3 miles up.
About a million hours.
2,000 and something feet of elevation. So it was very hard, and it got real sketchy at the top, didn't it? Those scree bits were intense. There was a lot of slipping and a lot of concern of just falling down and dying.
Turns out being good at one sport doesn't make you good at everything physical.
No, I feel like we're very, just crack on people as well, and we sort of were like, how hard can it be? Turns out really hard.
It could have been a lot harder, guys.
I mean,
you managed it. It was
wasn't
fine.
difficult for you.
That's just practice, though.
Yeah.
If I was with a different group of people, I'd have been the one hanging out my arse and in the back.
I'd hate to be with those people.
I would just stay at the start.
Like that fucking ultramarathon, for example.
Yeah.
The last time I was up there, I was hanging out my arse.
Yeah. You weren't with us though, at least.
No.
Me and Chloe were keeping the back of the pack
You
together.
did make me feel like an absolute champion.
Well, that's good. At least you've had a good confidence boost. Nah, it was good. And we were so lucky with the weather. The weather was unreal. It was so warm. I think I've actually got sunburn a little bit. I've caught the sun.
My face feels a bit sore.
Yeah, we've all caught the sun in April on the top of a mountain.
Well, you're closer to the sun, aren't you?
I had 3 jackets with me. I don't know in what world I thought I'd need all 3.
You just never know though, like mountain range weather systems are entirely different. They can change like at the click of a finger.
I also think we should give Gus some credit for pulling us all up there at one point or another.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Gus did really well. Yeah,
Really
he did
well.
really well at mushing us up that hill, didn't he? He was on fire. It was like almost like we were passing the dog to each other for like, because we wanted him, and then as it went downhill, everyone was like, no thanks. Who wants the dog?
He was like mountain coach.
Yeah, he was. Just keeping us all going.
Gnarly though. Good expedition. Well
It
done.
was fun.
Good expedition. Took some falls on the way down.
Yeah.
But
At least it was all of us.
You have to fall at least.
yeah, we
once.
all fell, so we
In
all
the same
none of us
space.
fell. Yeah, it was like a cursed moment, wasn't
It
it?
was.
Well, none of us could keep our feet on the ground. But it was funny. We saw a raven. Raven came and said hello. That was good.
And an arsehole woman that just wanted to patronise you.
Yeah, there's a point. If you're hiking and everyone's doing a really hard thing together, just be nice on the hill. Just be nice. Don't judge people. Chloe got judged on her footwear, which gave her a massive complex about it, as you can tell. But she was just a bit of a dick, wasn't she? No need.
Just be nice.
Yeah, just be
Like
nice.
you said, Jenny, why didn't she give you some support? That's what I needed then.
Yeah.
I needed positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Well done, doing really good job. Keep going.
Yeah.
Not, well, you should have worn some different shoes then.
Yeah. And your dog shit.
And try and handle your fucking dog.
Yeah, she was just a busybody. Busybody carrying on the mountain. That's it, you can't escape them. Even at the top of the mountains, they're everywhere.
Oh.
Just try and ruin your fucking day.
See about 6 people in total, and that's one of them. Everyone else is very nice.
Everyone else was
Yeah, to be
sound,
fair.
but they didn't have sand in their vaginas, so...
I found it funny. I was saying to Becca how you just talk about how you don't like talking to people. Yeah, every time we caught you up, you were talking to
somebody,
someone.
yeah. You were very chatty. That was just Jenny in like a happy place, wasn't it? Jenny day to day normally.
Brings out a different side.
Jenny hiking up mountains, being absolutely boss because me and you couldn't fucking do it. Different level of Jenny. Just on form.
Who knew?
Who knew? That's how you need to get friendly with Jenny. Just catch her at the top of a mountain somewhere.
If you can catch her.
You won't.
You could, though.
You'll have to start training now. But yeah, very good fun day. Strong Woman tries other things, I think.
Yeah.
But we're going to try and keep it up, I think. It's been good fun.
I think we must.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good to get out, do nothing. We
It's good for
only
the
had
soul.
our phones to take photos. We're pretty much... Well,
I
ignored
absolutely drained
everybody.
my battery taking photos.
Yeah, I
and
did.
videos.
I took hundreds of videos and
But it was
photos.
also like it had the route on as well, so that was draining the battery.
Yeah. That one I didn't drain the battery that much, I didn't think, but...
It absolutely fisted mine.
Did it?
Yeah. It was a full battery when we set off. It was like 98%.
Oh no.
And then it went down to like 5.
Mine finished on like 35%. I tracked the whole thing as well. Should have done it on
My
Strava though. It
phone's
doesn't
got
count because
AIDS.
it wasn't on Strava.
I don't know why mine didn't go on Strava.
We'll
I've
have to-
recorded it on my watch on Strava and it hasn't shimmied over.
We'll have to cross them over because I need them miles to add to my annual mileage total. But yeah, great fun day. Anyway, podcasting. What do we want to talk? Well, we're going to talk about what we would like to talk about is strong woman doing cool things. 3 people now have a 300 kilo deadlift and strong
Yeah.
woman. Insane. So, Summer Johnson and Claire Myler have joined the 300 kilo club. First
Neither
off,
open athletes either.
No?
yeah, both
Even
weight
more
class.
impressive.
Mm.
Yeah. Because what does Claire can't weigh much?
She'll be
80
80
kilos?
something, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say she must be about 80 odd kilo.
But over 50.
Yeah,
Mm.
insane, absolutely insane. They were both super impressive.
And they both looked like they could do more.
Yeah, it didn't even look that hard. And it's insane because we sort of were like, is anybody really close to that 300? And I don't think I was sort of expecting it to be Claire or Summer to hit either.
We all had it on like Victoria Long before.
Yeah, Victoria Long or like Andrea Thompson or somebody. And then for two like 80-odd kilo athletes to come out and just slam it.
It couldn't actually be better though, could it?
It was awesome.
It was so cool.
Absolutely shatter your expectations.
Oh, yeah.
Here's some under 82 kilo athletes.
Yeah. Well, the fact that 300 kilos now seems like an accessible weight for people.
Yeah. That is wild. I remember, like, when I started, everyone was just wanting 200 kilos, and that was a huge number. And there was, like, men chasing 300 kilos.
Yeah.
There still are so many, like, I
Yeah.
know so many men that are after a 300 kilo deadlift, and it's, like, super, super hard. So the fact, like, I feel like men and women's deadlifts are, like, not when you look like elite, but in that middle section, it's really crossing over, and it's quite interesting, like, kind of men who are starting to get somewhere and like the top women.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not that far different, is it? Yeah. I agree with you. It's a very interesting, like, the middle ground is definitely interesting.
Like, the amount of women pulling like 250 plus now is
insane.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
That's like just normal numbers, isn't it?
I can't even get my head around that. Like, I'd love to do 200 again.
I know.
I'd be really satisfied with being able to do that again, but I think I'm, like, past it.
Oh, no.
well, you said that last year and then you pulled 220 at the end of a
I was wearing a suit. I'm talking about raw though, and like not wearing a suit. I'd like a 200 kilo deadlift raw again. Like, let's touch on that. Like, Lucy, no suit.
Yep.
Unbelievable. She's just a different animal though, isn't she?
Yeah, she was born to deadlift.
Yeah. She's just naturally gifted, isn't she? Obviously she puts a lot of work in as well. That's not to take away from the work that she's put in, but
no,
she's just got that deadlift thing, hasn't she?
Yeah. I like nice people doing awesome things, and they're all absolutely adorable human beings.
Yeah, definitely. They all deserved it. And as well, I'd like to mention Faye Pittman breaking the under 73 the world record as well.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll count for the under 82 British record as well, won't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it'll be the under 82 Axel British record, because that was 101 by Rhiannon, and then because that was the one I was going to go for, and then she's got the under 73 world and British record.
It's been very cool seeing her come over. For anyone that doesn't know, Faye is an Olympic weightlifter, so she's competed at the Commonwealth Games for Wales. Very, very strong in that, and like it's just cool to see her coming into her own and strong. And like obviously there's a lot of transfer, but there's a lot of really new things as well. So it's been cool to see that, and she'll be competing at Giants Live as well.
Yeah.
She won the Opens at Wales.
Yeah, well that's cool. As a 73 athlete being able to win an Opens comp and get to Giants. But the only thing that concerns me about that, I think, and this isn't to dig Faye at all, is that she's so new to it. That's a huge comp to end up at in like within your first couple of years, isn't it? Massive. Like, I've got no doubt she'll absolutely nail it, but what a terrifying thought. A couple of years in the strongman, you're like, off to Giants. Have fun. You'll be fine. But, yeah, really, really cool. How are you feeling for Giants Live?
Can't wait. I love it.
It's a cracking show, isn't it?
It's so much fun, and like as an athlete, I really thrive with a crowd. Like I love that. Well, I say that last year didn't go so well, but this year I don't have a record attempt and a 2-day competition the weeks before. So because we were kind of focusing more on UKNS Worlds last year, and then Giants will I know I'm not going to win it. We'll do our best, but this year I think we'll give it a good crack. And I know I'm not like podium contention, but if I can push on a couple of events, then I'd be very happy with that. I've also learnt my lesson. I think I really got too excited last year.
Quite hard not to get excited though.
In the walkout rehearsal, I was going batshit. I was like, wow! And everyone was like, wow, you've got a lot of energy. And I think I just spent myself in that and the walkouts. So this year I'm going to be a bit calmer and actually. I think last year I was a bit like, I didn't feel, apart from the yoke, I was like, I'm not going to be competitive, so I'm just going to enjoy being here. Whereas this year I'm like, actually, I've been given this opportunity twice now, so I must be alright, so I'm actually going to, you know, stick my heels in and give it a good go.
Yeah. And what do you find? Do you find it an issue with the show being so late? Because obviously, like, most comps usually are, like, daytime, aren't they? And that's a nighttime show, that, and what did it start at, like, 6 last time, didn't it? Last year.
I mean, I normally train, like, midday, so it's different, but I just think you can't really think too much about those things, or you're just giving yourself an excuse.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So I think, like, if you're strong, you're strong. Everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
The hardest thing, honestly, was how fast-paced it is. Like, you come off one event, like you were in the warm-ups, weren't you? And you're, like, literally changing top and straight into the next one. Like, that was tough.
Yeah.
But also it means you don't really cool down, so...
Yeah, so you're not having that dull moment in between events.
Yeah.
I like a faster paced comp for me. Get comps done in 3 hours.
Well, you have to if it's gonna grow and make money and it's gonna pay the athletes. There needs to be spectators, so it needs to be entertaining and it can't be long, drawn out and boring. It needs to be done within 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, I agree.
It can't go any longer than that. So I think this is something that the higher tier athletes need to get used to. You know, if you want to do well and you want to succeed and make some fucking money in the sport, accept that you're going to have to work on your conditioning.
Yeah. Oh yes, 100%. Can you remember that? Oh God, what was it called? There was that show. Was it in Dubai or something? Was it? The one that Annabelle won. Yeah, and that was like one of the first ones that came out.
It was done in like
running
90 minutes or something.
Yeah, and literally everyone there. Well, not everyone, but a few people there shit themselves.
The bigger open weights, absolutely heavy.
Yeah, it was really heavy, and they were being sick in between events and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the men were real bad from what the girls were saying.
That's like, not even a surprise.
They had like oxygen and all sorts, because they were just like.
Get me my CPAP.
Unreal.
Yeah, I think that's quite funny, isn't it? But I think
maybe took it a little bit too far.
Well, I think that was because it was like one of the first ones that had been run that fast, and maybe they didn't take into account the weight selections of events for how fast that competition was going to run. Because if weight selections are taken into account, then I think it's a bit more manageable, isn't it? You can't expect people to be like maxing out on every event and then run it in 90 minutes. Like, it's just not a possible thing. You wouldn't do that in a training session, would you?
It was very cool though.
Yeah, it was cool. I loved that show. It's such a shame that show doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, somebody was a silly goose, so...
Fucking welcome to Strongman. Silly gooses everywhere.
Full of people with lots of self-importance.
Oh,
pointless self-importance. Oh my god.
Why can't we all just lift weights?
And shut up!
Lift weights.
Just everyone, shut up! You have an opinion, shut the fuck up and shove it up your arse. Hello.
Literally, someone could say that about this podcast.
This is the podcast of opinions.
Someone's listening going, shut up, you dickheads.
Turn us off. It's fine.
we don't care. We don't mind. Nah.
Hey.
It's just a funny old world, isn't it? Funny old world, Strongman. We were going to discuss what do we think about the timings of the World Record Day. So obviously, I'm on board for World Record Day. I think it's a really good idea. I hate
time of year.
I like a record in a competition. Mm-hmm. So I like someone hitting a record, like Josh hitting that record at that Chaos, the England's under 90s. He did the British Axel record.
Did he? What was it?
152
or something?
It was 152. I think he hit 154 or something similar to that. Yeah. But then I know that was it Flashdance had a bit of a pop at him about it. Said he wasn't. Said it wasn't a pop, but it was a pop. Yeah, I'll spill the Strongman tea.
Come on then, go for it.
Well, he'd had a bit of a pop saying that it wasn't fair because like other people hadn't been offered that opportunity. But I'm pretty sure Josh had made it pretty clear that he was going to try and go for that record if there was time on that day and he felt okay.
It was only a few weeks before though. Like, I can see both sides.
Yeah.
I think if the opportunity is there, take it. I absolutely would.
Yeah.
But I do see... Flash is just saying, I think he didn't mean it against Josh, but as a point, like, I think records are a lot more exciting when there's multiple people going for it. Like, you know, we were saying about an entertainment perspective, like, if we want people to tune in and be engaged. Watching one person do a lift is impressive, but it doesn't have that competitive element that makes it exciting. Like, oh, who's going to get it? Or, oh, well, if so-and-so breaks it, is that going to push the other person even harder? Do you know what I mean? I think that I get that side of things.
Yeah. No, there has to be a battle, doesn't there? It can't just be...
Well, it just...
Like, seeing... do you remember...
One person.
Is it Kristen Rhodes and Donna on that dumbbell a few years ago at the Arnold?
I mean, maybe it's somewhere in my brain, but
yeah, like that was exciting
to pull it back out.
I think they shared the record in the end. But it was exciting because they were both going for it.
Yeah, so there was a bit of like, who's going to get it? Is it going to be them? Is it going to be them? Bit of a battle.
Yeah, like all the Rogue records, to be fair, all have several people.
Yeah, they do. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make it exciting, but I do think if the opportunity is given, as long as it's in a sanctioned competition...
Well, that's just it. Anytime it's in like a decent competition with people that have the ability to actually record the records, then if it's a max out event, like
no,
why
doesn't
don't you
anybody
just
have an
assume...
ability to record a record in strongman?
I don't know. It's
Because
just really not officiated in the slightest.
So like, where the difference? I know I'm shifting subjects here, but like refereeing in strongman.
Oh no!
No.
Here's the meat of the podcast.
No, I think this is. I know we were going to talk about timings of records.
Oh, we don't care about that now. This is much more drama.
So like, I started in Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Which is a tiny, really, in comparison, tiny lifting federation.
Yeah.
But they've got loads of rules. They've got a rule book. They've got everything's officiated.
Yeah.
To be a referee for Iowa, you have to sit an exam.
Yeah.
And you have to have like a probation year. So like you'll referee, but you'll have someone like assessing you while you do it.
A supervisor.
And you can't like. So I went and did a training session with some people the other day, and there was one official referee, and then there was Matt, who is like on his probation.
Yeah.
So I hit a load of lifts on that day that would have been world records in that federation.
Yeah.
But it didn't get recorded as that because there wasn't two referees there.
Right,
though,
okay.
Like Matt is kind of
technically
one, but not proper one. So like, but in strongman, literally, I could watch someone lift, say good lift, and it's a world record.
Yeah.
I've not done any exam. I've not. No one's like tested me.
Well, this is an interesting point because I was the referee for the Natty Records Day, so I refereed a lot of them, and I've never done any training in reffing. I mean, I've given some real shit calls as a ref. I'll put my hands up. I'm not a very good referee. I was at that day because I was strict as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're competent, but I just think it's interesting. Like, I think for me, the big one is dumbbell. Like, I've made a few digs, like, I've been training dumbbell, like, but it would count at World's Strongest Man. Like, it's so true. Like, when you watch some of the calls that were given on those dumbbells last year.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. OSG Worlds, when they did, was it that dumbbell ladder?
Yeah.
Was that 2020?
Even the deadlift
on the
ladder
final
the first
day,
year
disgusting. There was some shocking reps given there. Some really shocking reps that then changed podiums as well, which is just bad crack. Yeah,
like how long is this gonna keep going on and it's getting
like,
messy before we actually create some sort of a structure for it?
Because there's nothing to fall back on. So like if someone feels like their call was unfair and they appeal it, there's not an appeals process.
Yeah,
because there's
what can you do about it? Yeah.
So they'll just say, well, what the referee like. It's not that you can appeal and be like, this is the rule.
Yeah. It's literally just down to that promoter on that day, isn't it? Yeah, it is an interesting point because then it does sort of lead to like, well, what's legit and what isn't.
And for world records, do you not think there should be more than one referee?
Totally.
100%.
Like in powerlifting, Olympic lifting, there's 3 referees.
Well, that was interesting because at European Pro Strongman, they had, for the deadlift especially, they had 2 refs for that. They had a side ref and a front ref. And I thought that was a really good thing that they did.
And
you don't get the full perspective from sitting in front of the athletes.
This was the big problem at OSG with the deadlift ladder. Like the first year I went in 21, there was some really shoddy calls given on the ladder.
Yeah.
Like people were not locked out.
Yeah, but if you can make it look like you're locked out from the front how does your ref know? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I definitely think there should be more than one ref. 100%, especially for, like, records.
And we wonder why our sport isn't taken seriously.
Because we don't even take it seriously.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
It was what we were talking about last time, though, because it's like we need like a federation, don't we?
Pizza too.
That pizza's been out all night. You guys are feral.
Shut up.
Honestly, these people don't refrigerate food.
Mate, you give yourself food poisoning.
I didn't give myself food poisoning.
You did with the fucking chicken that you cooked. You undercooked it and you gave yourself food poisoning. And you're talking to us about, like, some stale bread.
Probably. It's not bread.
That's been sat out for, like,
chicken on that.
few hours.
Yesterday, Jenny left sushi out on the side for, what, maybe 4 hours?
Am I dead?
And then ate it.
Am I dead? Like, I'm fine. I haven't vomited. I didn't shit myself.
Maybe you just haven't had enough food poisoning to scare you enough. This is why I've just got fear.
If you eat sketchy food enough, you're just bulletproof.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think eating any food.
You can eat anything now. Like, I'm fine. But I can't eat too much cheese or that.
We did drink a lot of mountain water yesterday as well.
Yeah. Mountain water is delicious.
Mountain water was delicious. I kept splashing my face. It was lovely.
Oh, that's the best.
So
and then
nice.
the feet. Oh.
I don't know, the feet got me. I was so cold, yeah.
That was brilliant.
My feet hurt so much. And then trying to get out of that stream and standing. Agony. Is he dreaming?
Yeah, he is. He's doing
Why is he laid like that?
Look at his little
Gus is laid on Chloe and he's laid like on his back like a baby. It's very odd.
Baby.
He's touching his penis.
He does look like a gigantic baby.
Don't touch yourself, mate.
Just move that.
I know, my phone's a bit foggy. Too early in the morning for this.
Oh, shall I get it here?
Too early in the morning.
How did we go then from referee to food poisoning to...
Quick.
Yeah, wow,
changed.
that changed fast. Right, well then, following on from that,
keeping this podcast on track.
if you could change one thing in Strongman, what would you change?
Give it a federation!
But who would be in charge of the federation?
Me!
I would not want that responsibility.
Me and Becca!
No, I don't want that responsibility. Jenny can do it on her own.
Me and Gus.
Gus don't give a shit.
Gus can rule Strongman.
Then I am in charge if he doesn't give a shit.
What would you change, Chloe?
I feel like I needed to think about this question. You might need to just like edit this. A long pause. I would make the bigger competitions harder to access.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yes, I like that.
So
yeah.
I would make it so that when they say that they're going to invite like top 10 to Worlds and then they invite the top 30, don't do that.
No, don't do that. And also,
Stop
like,
doing that.
maybe there should be like a strongman total, a qualification total. You know, the online qualifiers.
Like a minimum standard.
If you're in the top
Yes.
10
Yeah.
in the online qualifier and you are under a threshold that's like a world class qualification number,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't get the invite.
Yeah, I agree. And it's
100%.
not... I think it's important to say, like, this isn't to exclude people from strongman or make people feel like they're not wanted at competitions, but in every other sport, a world championship is very inaccessible, it's very elite, it's very hard to get to.
It should
And it
be
should be
an
because
exclusive club.
It's
Yes.
world standard, and, like, the standard is rising, and there will be more depth, so it will be that there's more people that can go there, but sometimes I think...
Did you fart?
No. I'll tell you if I
Never
do.
mind.
Sometimes I just think, like, you should have to... I don't want to sound like a bitch.
Do it.
Just
you
do
should
it. We
have
don't
to earn
care.
your place at those kind of comps. Like,
Absolutely.
How many years did I say I'm not going to Worlds because I didn't feel like
Yeah.
I was ready?
Mhm.
And like I think it, like I could have qualified,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't have done very well, so I didn't want to go.
No.
100%. Well, so I've been to Worlds and done Worlds knowing that I was not going to do very well. I zeroed 3 out of the 4 events that I did, and I enjoyed the process of doing it, and like I thought it was valuable for me. But I also think like I shouldn't have been able to get there
Yeah.
at that standard. I shouldn't have been able to get there. Like, it was good and I enjoyed it and I didn't regret going. Like, it was fucking hard and I learnt a lot of lessons, but I definitely could have learnt them lessons in other places,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't have been able to get to that there at that standard. Like, it was...
It's
It's just...
helpful having that perspective to back me up here.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I just think, because what happens then is people like me who weren't going to do very well, I'm just there making numbers. I'm there making up numbers and taking up time. And, like, for people who are at that elite level standard, you're just making that competition harder than it needs to be for them.
it makes it longer for spectate. Like, we can't have spectators at shows that have a shitload of zeros and have that have so many competitors that you don't
it's not
wanna
exciting
watch.
to watch. It's not entertainment. It's not exciting to watch. Like, this is why, like, what the main audience at Worlds is athletes and their families
Yeah.
and people who are there to support them. It's not actual people buying tickets, because imagine sitting in that convention centre all day if you didn't really know what was going on. You wouldn't fucking do it, would you? We don't like being there. We're competing. It's just such a fucking long day, isn't it? But
Awful.
Yeah, I think so. Things to change. I think that like strongman total or like that minimum threshold is a really good idea.
yeah.
Minimum standards.
Yeah. What annoys me as well, though, is I think the expectation of how many people are going to be into qualifiers. So I'm going to bitch at the moment about the new England's pathway through official strongman. So what really annoyed me about that is that originally it was like meant to be top 20 qualify. There was never going to be 20 people per category in that
So
for the women's. Never. 100%. That it was just never going to happen. And then they said top 10, which is fair enough. That makes more sense. Like, that's absolutely fine. And then, because there was only about 10 per category anyway, everyone qualified for it. And they let everybody in. But then, what's interesting is that I know a few people who've changed their mind on, like, the weight categories that they were going to be in and tried to, like, see if they could go up a weight category, which I know is the done thing in official strongman. That's another thing to, like, maybe bitch about later. But, like, missing weight and going up a category. So I think that either needs to be a yes or a no. That's a black or white. You as a federation either allow that or you don't. You can't then pick and choose. You can't allow it at some competitions and not allow it at others. And what's happened with this England's is people who've said, like, I would have qualified anyway in, like, whatever the class above, are being told that they can't go up the class because that's not how they're running it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense to me, because at Europe's last year it happened, like, loads.
Yeah.
Loads of people missed weight and went up. It happens at Worlds every year. People miss weight and go up.
If you go up, I think you may. Technically, no, it should just be you're done.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to like waste your money and want to compete and see how you do, you can compete, but you can't place. So like your points aren't taken into.
Yeah, you're a guest.
Like,
That
you
would
can
be
do- yeah.
interesting,
So
yeah.
you can do it, but like your point, it's not like if you podium that doesn't count. I mean, like you don't get scored.
Yeah. You're just
At all.
there to compete as almost a guest lifter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like, I don't know, you could go, like, I could be, so for me, for example, if I, like, wasn't a very good 73 athlete, I could just do the under 64 qualifiers, know full well I ain't making under 64 anymore,
Yeah.
turn up on the day, miss weight, but still,
Just-
I can't
But
imagine
still-
Straight in.
under 64
but still
now.
compete as a 73 because,
Mm.
no, but then, like, I might not have qualified as a 73.
No.
So, like, how do you not qualify for an online qualifier but then still get to compete by being shit?
Yeah, but again, I think that ties into the whole, like, making it more inaccessible for people, because I think, like, if you are this elite level athlete,
I've got another thing I'd change.
okay, if you were this elite level athlete, you should be able to make the fucking weight
Yeah.
that you've said
That's
you're going to.
exactly what I was just
Yeah.
about to say. You have one job.
Do it.
Well, you have a couple of jobs.
If you know you're not going to make
train
that,
for the
pull out in
events,
front,
But
yeah.
you've also got the responsibility. Like, let's take personal responsibility, guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make a weight class that you don't sit around at, 24/7, and you've got to do a water cut, make sure you do the water cut and accept defeat if you can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's your responsibility. It's not the organiser's responsibility
Nope.
to make sure that you've got a little time to play
No.
on the day that you've put in your calendar or taken off work.
Mm-hmm.
I've got another thing I'd change around weight cuts.
Come on.
So, strongman is the least healthy sport on the planet. Everyone slams drugs and everyone does water cuts when they don't actually know what they're doing with a water cut. Nobody knows what they're doing with
No,
drugs
they
or
don't.
water cuts.
No.
So they just fuck themselves up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the drugs, I don't... what can you do? You can't. But water cuts, I think... So there's a couple of things. One, I think you should have to be within a percentage of the weight class when you do your online qualifier.
I agree. You must be
For
able.
safety,
Like,
not
didn't
for,
they used
for
to do
safety.
this?
Because
Yeah.
no, they did it for that pound for pound comp that I
Right.
did in lockdown.
But wasn't like the first OSG online qualifier you had to show your body weight?
That was the pound for pound thing, I think.
Okay.
that's how I
So,
qualified the
like,
first
I
year.
completely agree with you.
Yeah.
You can't set unrealistic expectations, win a fucking online qualifier to buzz your tits off.
When
and
you're
it's
20
like,
kilos heavier than the weight class.
it's utterly
Yeah.
pointless, and you've just completely robbed somebody else of their space.
And then seeing some of, like, even if you think you can do that cut, I think putting a constraint on so that you cannot do that cut for the safety of the athletes.
Yeah.
Because seeing some of those people at Europe's,
Oh,
they were
Europe's
so
was
poorly.
horrendous, yeah.
Like, people who do weight cuts in strongman do not have a medical team around them.
No.
They do not have people guiding them. They have someone that's done a fucking level 2 diploma in nutrition that doesn't even cover it. They've Googled some UFC fighters a little bit, and then they go and sit in a sauna and dry out their soul. It's very dangerous. They could cause themselves a lot of damage. So I think if we weighed in and were within 5 to 10% of the body weight as a maximum, I think that needs to be done. One, to stop the big cuts, but also, like, people. So me and Matt were saying this, like, if someone who is like 82 kilos, 85 kilos entered the 73 qualifiers, obviously got a massive body weight advantage, and that then means that people who actually weigh 73 kilos will miss out on a spot.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting point, isn't it? That
Like,
then,
you wouldn't turn up to an in-person qualifier 20 kilos over your weight class, would you?
Absolutely not.
So why do we think it's okay online?
Yeah, and if they take a spot as well from a person who will get into that under 73s, and then they don't make it and get the opportunity to go up, like, they've
So
just
fair.
taken a space away from a person for no real reason.
And another thing with weights is the fucking IV bags. So, I know you've spoken about this before, and I spoke with Pete from SBD as well, actually has this opinion that we just shouldn't have them at competitions because it promotes doing stupid cuts.
Exactly, you're giving athletes far too much
Someone
leeway
thinks
to
that if
kill
they do
themselves.
a big cut but then they get a little pin out of a plastic bag, they're going to be fine. I'm sorry, but look how much water you've cut in weight, and you think that little bag's going to help you out? Really? For real?
I do think they do actually work. I'm an advocate for IV bags, but I don't see, like, I think if you get into that point where you think you need an IV bag to rehydrate, you're probably taking
need
your
to be
cut
in
too
hospital.
far.
Or
You need to be in
if you
hospital
think
for
you're
that.
at that standard and you want to take those kind of risks, why don't you hire a medical team that can do it specifically for you?
Yeah.
Monitor the cut and then give you, like, because the people giving these IV bags don't know the cut that the athletes have done.
No, exactly.
So it's not prescribed, is it?
Yeah,
it's
no.
like, oh, here you go, you're dehydrated, have this bag.
Yeah.
And I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it just, from a health perspective,
It makes me feel creepy.
I hate it.
I had one at Europe's, but not because I felt like I needed one, just because loads of people were doing it, and I was like, fancy, that looks like fun.
Like,
And, like, but I didn't feel indifferent.
No.
I didn't, like, go away thinking, wow, rejuvenated. Like,
Yeah.
I just did it because it was fashionable at that moment in time.
And available.
Yeah, and all it did was cost me 60 quid and make me feel no different, so...
I'd like to spend 60 quid on something else.
Yeah, me too.
Looking back, I probably would have now, like, but I don't think I'll ever need an IV bag for rehydration again. But it's that whole thing of, like, where because people hydrate like that just normally, don't they? Like, celebrities and stuff, that's like their hydration. Just
But
IV it in.
sometimes I think
Too
people
posh to drink.
are like, how well can I cut instead of how strong can I get?
Yeah.
Strong man, not cut man.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think as well, being comfortable in, like, your body and not thinking, oh my god, I've got to cut, like, I want to be, like, at this lower body weight because that's going to be better for me. Gus has just seen something outside.
It's a
Very
dog.
exciting. Oh, it's another dog. That may have been our quiet moment.
Oh, it's a tiny little dog, a little or something.
He wouldn't have made it up that mountain.
No.
Gus is just judging him.
God, I feel like I got a lot off my chest there.
You did, well done. Do you feel
Well
better?
done.
I do, I just hope I didn't sound like a bitch.
Oh, it really doesn't matter.
We all
Like,
sound like bitches on here. we don't
Things
care.
need to be said.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Points need to be made. Like, otherwise, people will just keep fucking doing it, and it's just ridiculous. Like, if you're rocking up to a weigh-in now, and you like, well, the biggest thing, ending up in hospital after a comp.
Yeah.
If you're ending up in hospital after a comp because of a water cut that you've done, nah, you need to reevaluate life choices
And
here.
what for?
What for?
What for?
What for?
You
Most of the time
don't
for a plastic
get
trophy.
Anyone can put a title in their Instagram bio.
Yeah, yeah, you could just do that anyway, you know?
Yeah, you could.
even pick whatever, my worst one, pick whatever thing you're doing or that you're interested in, and then just put World's Strongest before it. There you go, there's an Instagram title for you, straight away. Like, I could do it, World's Strongest Falconer.
I was going to say World's Strongest Dog Mum, but I think there's a few that beat me up on one.
I don't know, like, I don't know. Yeah,
Lucy.
they give me,
Victoria Long.
that gives me,
Yeah, everyone has dogs, but not many people have falcons.
Yeah.
that gives me the ick that I hate it. That, like, I'm World's Strongest something or other.
Yeah.
I'm just like, are you? Are you sure? Are you 100% sure out of the entire world of 7 billion?
And there's actually people out there that could be stronger than the people, that definitely are stronger than the people that compete at
100%.
the world's strongest events, and we don't even know who they are.
Exactly. That guy annoys me who's called World's Strongest Mullet. How do you know
I
that?
don't know who that is. I love the stuff that Martine
Are you
and
sure?
Raymark are doing at the moment, that Strength Unknown. Some actual beasts on that documentary.
I don't know what that is.
They're like travelling the world looking at like different strength feats. Like they're in Pakistan at the moment doing like the Pakistani stone lifting.
Oh yeah, I saw that
It's
this morning on
wild.
Instagram. It does look cool. Gus,
Yeah.
stop eating all my stuff. You're just
Gus,
getting a bit of
what are you
plastic.
eating?
Just a bit of plastic.
That's really fun.
Right, well you can eat that if you want. I don't think it's going to cause you any harm. Keep you entertained with that small bit of plastic that you've just nommed. Don't eat anything out of that basket though. He's just going to eat the basket now.
It's like
Yeah.
you've taken too long with this podcast.
Oh, Gus, stop it!
Do we need to move on?
No.
Gus, come here.
Maybe
Don't sit
he's just started the silly goose section.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he has.
Sticking out his chops.
Right, well let's do it then. We'll have a short break. We've done 40 minutes and we've bitched about a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel like we've filled in enough.
Yeah.
Close enough. So we'll have a little short break and we'll do our silly goosing. Thanks, Gus. Quick shake break from Gus there. We'll obviously have to do this the silly goose song from Emma. So get yourself ready for silly goose song.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
Okay, we're back. We're back and we're working. So, silly goose question. What type of poo would you pick up with your bare hands?
Bare hands.
Yeah, it has to be
I
bare
thought we were-
hands.
No, you don't put your gloves
bags.
on, no it.
No, what sort of... No, not poo bags. We were talking about this yesterday when we set off on the walk and Gus had a poo, and we were like, what type of poo would you pick up with your bare hands?
I didn't hear the bare hands thing. I don't know if that was selective hearing. I thought we were doing in poo bags.
Absolutely not. No, it has to be bare hands. So I was saying my argument was that I wouldn't pick up a dog poo with my bare hands because it's too close to a human poo. But I would pick up a sheep or cow poo with my bare hands. No bother. Wouldn't give a
Sheep
fuck.
and cow poo's very different.
Yeah, I know that's what I mean.
Grass munchies.
But
You
it's
couldn't pick
all-
up cow poo.
You
No,
could.
you could
Because
try
it's
it. You
wet.
could scoop.
You could scoop it.
Scoop it with your
Yeah,
with
but
2
imagine
mitts.
it would get all under your nails.
Of course it would, but
And
you've
I
got a
have
nice
pretty
little
nails
stream.
now. I'm doing them. Look.
Yeah, but they've got like a nice clean surface. They're even better to pick
Wipeable.
up cow pat
The
with.
bottom isn't.
So?
Underneath.
Yeah, just get a nail brush. You'll be fine.
We're
Oh,
next to a
God.
nice little.
Oh no.
You
No.
dickhead! Fucked it!
Gus-
Absolute
Guys,
sabotage.
quieten down. Oh.
He's
Oh.
like, you're a dickhead.
Come on, sit down, Gus. Let's just do this finishing silly goosing. Come on. You can last another 2 minutes.
Come
You promised.
Good boy.
You promised.
I
to be
think I would
sensible.
pick up any type of shit with my bare hands.
Even a dog poo?
I could get to a point where my brain's like, just do it.
Even a dog poo.
I feel more comfortable doing that than pulling a tick out of my cat.
I think I've done more dangerous things than pick up poo.
If it had worms in it, I'm not touching it.
What other dangerous things? Worms. Why don't you like worms?
I don't like worms. Parasites.
I've got too many questions.
No, like
here.
earthworms are fine, but parasite worms, you know, pinworms.
Oh, like a tapeworm.
I don't want to do that.
I'd love a tapeworm.
I don't
mate.
want to.
I'd love to see how much weight I could lose with a tapeworm.
Has anybody out there got a tapeworm for Becca?
I'll have it.
Have people done that to lose weight before?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a thing. I think it's like
Just
Eastern
eat
culture
some
thing where you get a
sketchy raw
tapeworm, yeah,
pork.
and just like let it do you. But because you can eat so much, you're starving all the time, aren't you?
why
'Cause the
water
tapeworm's
when you
eating
can get a tapeworm?
Exactly. There's your option. Just get a fucking tapeworm.
World's strongest tapeworm!
World's strongest tapeworm. Easy money.
I feel like I've just felt more threatened in life generally in day-to-day situations.
What makes you feel threatened?
A lot of things.
What's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
Ever done?
I feel like I don't know.
I don't.
I think you put yourself in danger quite a lot, Becca.
When?
Like, wrestling dogs while you're naked.
Oh no, that was because my dog was having a fit downstairs and the other dogs were trying to kill it because like they just won't tolerate
You
dogs
could
that
have
aren't
lost
very
a
well.
tit or a
And
labia or something.
I ran downstairs completely naked and then realised like what am I going to do? I'm not going to get involved in this dog fight with no clothes on.
Would you rather a dog bit your tit off or one of your labia?
Labia. I've got pretty good tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't give a fuck about
Okay.
vagina.
No.
I'd be sad if I ruined my tits.
Yeah.
You'd look a bit weird with like a mangled tit, wouldn't you?
I think it's easier.
Nobody's
to hide a
ever
mangled
going to see the labia.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like nearly wifed up, so I'm not bothered. Ben will just have to deal with it.
I feel like it would be very uncomfortable though, the labia. Like the boob.
Ouch.
Okay, the
Very.
boob-
All of them ouch.
The boob, ow, but like I don't wee out of my boob.
No, that's it's
That's
a
a
danger
fair
area.
I
point.
don't sit on my boob.
No,
I'm
how do
too-
you heal that without infection? There's so much going on. It would
Yeah.
sting constantly.
No, I think
Like
it would be
period.
alright after a while. It wouldn't take. It would only be a few days.
I
of
feel
pain.
like the boob, the titto, would be much easier to dress as well. Not like put a dress on it, but you know, like dressings and cleaning it.
Yeah,
Cleaning your fanny
I'm
and
too
putting a
vain.
dressing on it
Do
every
you even
day.
have a dressing on it?
Maybe.
It depends. I don't think you would. I don't think they'd be able to, would they? Do you know what I always think would be an interesting thing? You know when people get their bumholes tattooed? How do they heal then?
What?
Have you never seen that?
No.
Yeah, that's a big thing, yeah. Yeah,
That's
getting
so
your bumhole
weird.
tattooed. Like,
What would you get tattooed on your bumhole if you was to get your bumhole tattooed?
Anus.
I don't know.
It'd have to be a word that has an O in it.
Yeah.
Well, so I've
Yes.
seen a few bumhole tattoos.
Yes.
M-O-N.
Mon.
Because your butthole would be the other O.
Moon. That's a funny point, yeah. No, I've seen a few where they're like a spider web or something. In the middle of the spider web's the bumhole. Or there's a woman who's
You could have
like,
a target.
yeah, you could. There's a woman
Dark
who's
one.
got an OnlyFans who's called Octopussy, and she's got an octopus, like as if the octopus body is her like bits, and then octopus tentacles coming over her bumhole.
I just don't want anybody with a needle
Near my
looking
bumhole.
about around there. You're like sitting for a big tattoo session. Imagine doing 6 hours with your crack spread open.
One, imagine how much your back would hurt.
How would you have to lie?
You'd have to be like.
You'd have to like sit like doggy style, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like with your belly against.
Oh
something.
god, imagine the pain you'd be
Straddle,
in.
like spread across a table.
Why don't you next guess someone who's had their bumhole tattooed?
That's it.
Yeah.
We're-
Yeah, anybody out there got their bumhole tattooed so we can interview you?
Yeah, come and answer some questions because I've got a lot. Because like, how do you heal that? Imagine the next day. Do you reckon you have to like fast beforehand so that you wouldn't poop the next day?
Yeah,
That's a
nil
good
by
one.
mouth, aye.
Yeah, because how are you gonna like even 2 or 3 days afterwards while that tattoo's still raw,
Healing,
pooping it's gonna be awful.
You might have to dab the
Ooh.
hole instead of wiping.
That's not going to be effective though. How
What
would you
about
get?
a bidet? You'd have to have
You'd
a
have
bidet.
to, yeah, or you'd have to shower after every poop,
Yeah.
wouldn't you? Some
They have
people
them
do
when
that
I was
anyway.
In Thailand,
I
next to the
did
toilets
that.
is a little water gun.
In lockdown, that was my thing, you know, when everybody bought all of the bog roll. And I had like a packet of 4 to last me through lockdown.
You
I
just pooped and showered?
I just shit and then had a shower. Straight
To
after.
be
Oh,
fair-
but then don't you have to touch your bumhole when it's got poo on the end?
So?
Well, like you,
But you could just
said
grab
that
the
you touch
shower
human
head.
poo all the time and you're not bothered.
You said you wouldn't touch human poo, but now you're like, oh yeah.
I touch my
arse
own
with my hand.
poo. I don't touch somebody else's poo.
And
How else do you
by the
clean your
way,
arsehole?
when I did touch human poo, I was the nurse, by the way. This is why.
It wasn't just for
I
fun.
was wearing gloves.
do
Not
you
bare
do you
hands.
wash your bumhole with gloves on?
No, but I've already wiped it.
Yeah, but there'll still be.
Yeah, but you
fecal
still have to
matter on
wash your
there.
bum.
yeah, but not a full-on poo skid.
Who cares?
You're gonna wash it off
Just
anyway.
shit,
It's a
yeah.
shower.
Just going down the plug hole. Feces.
I think I want to pre-clean my butthole before I get in the shower.
Oh, I
and
don't
then-
care.
I feel like it's a waste of
It
resources.
is. It is.
Well, I'm happy
The whole
wasting
point
resources
is, like-
if it means I don't have to touch my own poo.
The only point is like saving the planet, and I'll touch
Yeah.
my own shit to save the planet.
Well, that's nice. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
Some people, that's their, like, thing. Like, they poop and then they have to have a shower afterwards to be clean.
yeah, they have a complex.
Yeah, and then I've seen the argument for that is, like, if you got a bit of poop on your arm, would you just be happy wiping it off with toilet paper?
No.
You'd have to wash it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you can wash that with soap in the sink.
You could wash your bumhole with soap in a sink if you really want to.
No, but washing your arm is much more accessible.
It
than
really
washing
is.
your arm.
I don't ever want to wash my anus in a sink.
Hard to get into. You'd have to straddle it.
You'd break the sink.
And also, I feel like you'd never use that sink to brush your teeth again.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I couldn't be sharing that.
Bathrooms are weird anyway, like you poo literally right next to where you brush
You
your
do.
teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, but not
There's
in the
so
same
much fecal
implement.
matter on toothbrushes.
I like brushing my teeth in the shower, me.
I wondered what you were going to say.
I don't poop in the shower. I like brushing my teeth, though. I make many a joke about pooping in the shower, though.
Don't poo in the shower.
We've only got one bathroom in our
Pet peeve
house.
when people wee in the
That's
shower
true.
and then you can smell wee.
Are we in the shower?
Are you in
No,
the shower?
don't do that because then your shower will smell like wee.
I don't care.
My shower doesn't smell like wee.
No.
I bet it
doesn't.
does, but I bet you just can't smell it.
Are you alright?
I think I would be able to smell it.
I think there's probably something wrong with the urine if it smells that
It's
strongly.
not my urine, I ain't wee in the
I
shower.
agree. I feel
Matthew
like
needs to work
you
on
shouldn't
himself.
really be able to smell any urine.
Matthew Jones, drink more water. Your urine stinks.
No! Gus is about to take out the mics.
Right, I think we need to
on
wrap
that
that
note,
up.
yeah, that's probably wrapped it up. That was a weird silly goose. It went real off track there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that
Here's
your,
the outro from Gus.
here's your final words. Gus, would you like to talk?
Go on.
Anything else?
How do you feel?
Perfect. Right. That's enough from you, Gus. Does anybody else have any final words we'd like to say before we go?
No.
Thanks for having me, bye.
Haven't used any, asked Chloe any interesting questions, just talked about poo.
Yeah.
There's other podcasts to listen to find out about Chloe though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all, a lot of them are quite similar. Just listen to one.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to
This is
find.
the only
We
one
don't want
where
to find
she's
out about
talking
your
about
life
shit,
story. We want to find out about what type of poo you'd pick.
Yeah.
And then we didn't even answer that question.
What? Well, let's go back to it quickly before we end. What type of poo would you? What type of poo would you definitely pick up? What type of poo would you definitely not pick up?
Bird poo freaks me out a bit. Don't want to pick that up. Would
Fair
pick
It would
up
be really
sheep-
difficult to pick up.
sheep
bird
poo because it's just little balls.
I feel like sheep poo would be really easy to pick
Yeah.
up. I would pick up sheep poo. Wouldn't pick up dog poo with my bare hands. Jenny.
I'd probably pick up them all.
And on that note, goodbye.